Welcome to the weekend edition of News Tonight. I am Araba Aidoo. Coming up in the bulletin this night, government jumps to the defense of gender minister designate Agnes Namomolate following backlash over reports of lateness leading to her failure to be sworn in. Also ahead, NDC supporters in Efutu protest over the exclusion of their 2024 parliamentary candidate, Dr. James Kofi Annan, from recent government appointments. In business, Ghana's public debt, according to Bank of Ghana's latest report, has declined to 736.9 billion cedis, equivalent to 72.2% of GDP as of November 2024. We will tell you more. And in sports, Ghanaian high jumper Rose Amwenima Yabua adjudged Sports Personality of the Year at the 49th Swag Awards. And on the foreign front, Israel and Gaza ceasefire deal agreement leads to the release of some citizens from both Gaza and Israel. We have details of these and more stories coming up. Please stay.
Welcome to NLA 590 Mobile. Today we will
And we appreciate you for staying. Remember, we are streaming on X and on Facebook at GHOne TV. We begin the bulletin from the presidency, where the inability of Gender Minister Designate Agnes Namomolate to the swearing-in ceremony yesterday has sparked controversy. Now, the Krowa MP was expected to be sworn in with 5 others. But contrary to reports blaming the minister-designate for lateness, spokespersons for government have jumped to her defense. And they've been explaining about what exactly transpired. Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Shamima Muslim joins us on phone for further discussion on this. And we are trying to establish contact with Shamima Muslim, who is the Deputy Presidential Spokesperson, to explain further to what led to the lateness of the Minister-designate for Gender, Children and Social Protection in the person of Madam Agnes Namomolate. And we will still bring Shamima to you when we get there. But meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has urged the 5 newly sworn-in ministers to hit the ground running in order to address numerous challenges confronting the country. The 5 ministers who were sworn into office were Abdulaziz Fagomashi for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, George Opari Aidoo for Youth Development and Empowerment, Emilia Arthur for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Ahmed Ibrahim for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and Elizabeth Ofosuwajari, on the other hand, for Trade and Industry. The President cautioned them to justify their inclusion. Take a listen.
Putting together such a small team would naturally mean that very highly qualified and well-meaning people, both within and outside the NDC, will not see their dream of securing a position to serve their country in a ministerial capacity materialize at this moment. Let me at this stage congratulate the 5 ministers whom we have just sworn in today. There's no greater honor than to be called to serve your country. But with that honor comes great responsibility, especially in circumstances such as ours, where our nation is in dire straits with a rundown economy characterized by choking debts and all manner of sectoral problems. I'm sure you ministers designate, you're now ministers, sorry. I'm sure you ministers have received tons of congratulations and celebration from your well-wishers and family for your nomination. But that must quickly give way to immediate commencement of work to address the needs of our people who have justifiably demanded quick action after enduring particularly bad governance over the last 8 years. All of you have enormous challenges to surmount in your respective sectors. It is precisely because of the scale of the problems that I chose you from among the many qualified people to serve as ministers in this government. It will not be business as usual.
Now, the Paramount Chief of the Asogi State, Togbi Afede the 14th, has urged President Mahama to prioritize the construction of roads in the Volta Region and across the country. According to him, the deplorable state of the road network in the region hinders economic growth, emphasizing the need to make these roads motorable to stimulate economic activities. He made this appeal during President Mahama's thank you tour to the Volta region, where the president has been engaging with constituents and promoting his vision for a prosperous Ghana.
Development were enjoined by the National Constitution to ensure the balanced development of all parts of our nation, Ghana, and we shall do just that. We've already begun by assessing key infrastructure needs in the region. The whole Aidoo Road, which is a lifeline for economic activity, will be a #1 priority. We understand how the poor conditions of roads has hindered trade, tourism, and mobility, and we are committed to addressing this challenge.
But the joy for all of us, the happiness that we want, extends beyond just basic survival. We need good roads, and we need everything that will make life comfortable. And as I said already, the emphasis on happiness has been established in our constitution, which requires that government shall ensure that our economy is managed prudently to ensure the delivery of the basic necessities of life to all Ghanaians, to ensure good living standards, and also to ensure the happiness of all.
Let's still stay in the Volta region, where the traditional leader of the Asogi state, Togui Afede again, urged the John Dramani Mahama-led administration to show respect to traditional leaders. Now, according to Togui Afede, during President President Anadodanko Akufo-Addo's reign, he was faced with humiliation as well as other traditional leaders, and he advised the Mahama administration not to follow that.
I recall that in 2020, when Volta felt under siege from soldiers that have been sent from Accra, in a run-up to the elections of 2020, we came together, a good number of us from the Volta House of Chiefs, visited the then President Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo to appeal for mercy on our people. Sadly, our minister was there, together with one of our own sons, Mr. Mehu. They denigrated us and embarrassed we the chiefs. We left extremely sad. For instance, it was said that Togbe was going around the registration centers, interfering with registration, which was not true. It was said that we, the chiefs, were all NDC and would typically import voters from Togo, hold them for weeks so that they could vote for the NDC. Those were the comments that were made against us right in our presence, and it wasn't a palatable experience at all. So again, I want to thank you. You've given us a minister who I am convinced will work with us for the good of people, for the good of the entire country.
Let's now head to Parliament, where proceedings at the House were disrupted when minority MPs protested non-representation for the Ablekuma North constituency. The recollation process, which has failed after 7 attempts, has been characterized by chaos amidst tight security presence. Now, addressing the House, the minority leader demanded that the EC be given the needed security to finalize the process. Bernice Abubedu Lancer has the rest of the story.
Take your hands off Ablekuma now. No Ablekuma, no business.
Chants from minority MPs protesting the absence of a representative for the Ablekuma North constituency. This is what preceded the chants and protests.
As we speak, the EC has not received the necessary protection from the elections security task force to enable it conclude the collation and final declaration of Ablekuma North parliamentary elections. Mr. Speaker, the Electoral Commission complained of threat to the lives of its staff. The Electoral Commission complained of destruction of its properties. I would want my respected colleague who has just come to take steps in ensuring that Dr. Dampari, the IGP, who is the head of the Election Security Task Force, is able to provide sufficient security to enable the EC undertake its constitutional mandate.
The MPs, bent on getting their message across, won't budge when their minority leader tried to calm them after a while. The second deputy speaker and MP for Fomena, Andrew Esiamo Amoako, subsequently suspended the House.
Honourable members, I suspend the House for 30 minutes. The House is suspended.
Engagement between leadership of both sides, the House resumed sitting for government business to continue.
Honourable members, leadership, we have met, we have taken into consideration all the issues.
Before the speaker could get anything going, the minority leader had a word of caution for a colleague on the other side.
I shall conclude, however, by expressing a displeasure on a matter that nearly marred the beauty of our engagement as a parliament. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of brains. This is a house where we apply knowledge to resolve issues. We do not use brow to resolve issues. My respected colleague, Honorable Nogbe of Ashama, sought permission from his leaders, and I'm happy that the respected majority leader said no to his request. That leader, allow us to beat them. Who are you going to beat? Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, never, ever. I want my respected colleague Nogbe to know, never, ever should it be that he would open his mouth to say he would beat somebody in this house.
Close attention to the proceedings of Parliament so far points to a minority willing to do everything possible to prove it's a micro-minority that bites.
It is a 276 member House.
Let's now head to the Central Region, where some supporters of the National Democratic Congress, that's the NDC, in the region on Friday staged a dramatic protest, setting office equipment ablaze over the exclusion of their 2024 parliamentary candidates in the person of James Kofi Annan from recent government appointments. Now, the angry supporters stormed the NDC constituency office, forcibly breaking in to remove furniture and equipment which they set on fire. Their frustration stems from what they see as a broken promise by President John Dramani Mahama, whom they claim assured James Annan of a government position during the election campaign.
Adding to the concern is a conspicuous silence from the national leadership of the NDC, who have yet to publicly call their members to order. This apparent lack of accountability has seemingly emboldened some party members in Efutu to resort to lawlessness.
Revolution has a long way to go,
The Efutu protesters claimed their parliamentary candidate was sidelined in government appointments, prompting their outbursts. But questions remain. Is there no better or more civilized way to address grievances? Should property be destroyed because a candidate wasn't included in initial government appointments? Taking Efutu's case as an example, there are 88 NDC parliamentary candidates who lost the 2024 elections. Even if appointments are reserved for them, not all can be accommodated in positions of the promised lean governments.
Now, away from the Central Region, security analyst Dr. Adambona has called on the IGP not to reassign the just sacked Economic and Organized Crime Office, that's the Yoko boss Mami Tiwa Adedankwa, to any sensitive position due to her incompetence. President John Dramani Mahama on Friday, January 24, terminated TOP Mami Tiwa Adedankwa's appointment as the executive director of Yoko. Mami Tiwa Adedankwa was also instructed to hand over to her deputy Abdullahi Bashiru Dapila and return to the police headquarters where she would be reassigned. But speaking to GHOne News, Dr. Adambona noted she is not competent enough to handle any sensitive position, citing her poor handling of security issues such as the missing Takrady girls.
I think we can only give glory to God that we now have some, relief that she's been relieved to go back to the police, and I hope that the IGP would not assign her to a sensitive position. That is the call that the IGP must make. That I am praying that the police board, the police management board, would not send her to any sensitive position because she's so incompetent. And go and read a comment about her, after she was sacked from the Yoko. And you remember, what do you call that, the bust that was put up at Yoko. And she claimed, you are head of the institution. This is a security institution. And you say that your staff put up a bust for you. It's the premises for them. And you claim you didn't know. And all these things, Nanado, the ex-president, did not actually see it. Look at the Cecilia Dapa missing cash saga. The way she attempted to implicate the special prosecutor. Fortunately, the special prosecutor had whatever the paper trail that actually contradicted. When they started, Yoko started contradicting themselves. There are several incompetence matters relating to Mami Tiwa. So I am happy that at least what we voted for, the relief Ghanaians were looking for, and why we voted towards that direction, we are beginning to see that bite. Because then, if the MPP had stayed on, I'm tempted to believe that such persons will still be lording over everybody, and then, saying all manner of things. Let's see how she will fare. I mean, I believe that as she has been reassigned, we'll be watching what the IGP will do.
Let's now shift our attention to ECG, where Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor, has expressed disappointment over some 2,500 containers belonging to the ECG stranded at the Tema port. Speaking during the inauguration of a 7-member committee to explore privatization options for the Electricity Company of Ghana, John Jinapor revealed that 2,500 containers containing electrical materials has so far accrued demurrage of 1.5 billion cedis, a situation he described as unfortunate.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor, during his vetting before Parliament Appointment Committee on Monday, January 13, 2025, announced the formation of a technical committee to explore the private sector participation in ECG. The minister explained that the committee's primary task will be to examine and propose viable models for private sector involvement that could enhance ECG's financial and operational sustainability, while cautioning members of the 7-member technical committee during their inauguration to adopt a non-partisan approach in their work. The minister intimated that the move is in response to long-standing challenges faced by ECG, including inefficiencies, financial losses, and growing debts.
We have always advocated for local content. And so in your work, always have it at the back of your mind that local content participation ought to have a place as far as ECG's work is concerned. During the transition period, it came to light that ECG's losses alone, what you call the ATC&C, that is putting the technical and commercial and collection losses together, stands at about 40%. No utility in this world can survive a 40% loss.
While charging members of the committee to ensure local content in the privatization option of the ECG, the minister also made a startling revelation of some 2,500 containers belonging to the ECG stuck at the Tema ports. According to the minister, these containers are attracting a demurrage worth 1.5 billion Ghana cedis, a situation he described as unacceptable.
When we visited the port, these are containers loaded with materials, cables, and other accessories. ECG has not been able to clear those containers. And so as we speak, we have 2,500 containers stuck there and stranded. And as they stay there, it attracts a lot of penalties and demurrage. So far, the demurrage alone is estimated at 1.5 billion cedis. This is unacceptable. The first question is that what led to this untenable situation? Why would ECG adopt that bundle? But what is even disturbing, people are stealing the containers.
Though the Public Utility Workers Union, PUL, has kicked against the uncertainty of the model for the proposed privatization of the struggling state-owned entity, the Yape Kosogo MP allayed fears in their concerns and charged the committee to prioritize local content in its work. Members of the technical committee include Jabesh Emisa Arthur, chairman of the committee, Ben Boache with the ASEP, Dr. Shafiq Suleiman, Dr. Simon Akoli with the PURC, Ebenezer Baden with the ECG, Emma Ekuabule, a lawyer, and Edward Abrakwa, a finance expert and risk analyst. The 7-member committee inaugurated to explore the privatization options for the ECG are expected to submit a report to the ministry in 1 month. Reporting for GHOne News, Obed Kingaglo.
Now, in a related story, the Minister-designate for Interior, Mutalaka Mohammed Mubarak, has strongly rebutted critics who have labelled the government's decision to review its payroll as unnecessary. He defended the move, arguing that the actions are in the interests of the public. Now, responding to a question during his vetting, Mr. Mutalaka believes the review is a crucial step to ensure accountability, eliminate inefficiencies, and optimize the use of public resources.
I believe that government is continuous, and until January 7th, there was a government. And in my view, every action and inaction of that government is legitimate, except to say that if a new government comes, nothing also debar a government from reviewing whatever actions a previous government has taken and then put the best interests of the country forward. So because I don't have the details and the fine details of what you are talking, it may be very difficult for me to give very specific answers. But what I know is that if a government takes an action which is legitimate, obviously another government too has every right to be able to review it. But I keep saying, let us always do this in the best interest of our country. Because if there is an in the best interest of the country, you act, you'll be acting right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now let's shift attention to other stories where the Sassy Ladies, a Ghanaian women's group with members both locally and abroad, are calling on Ghanaians to join the fight for a cleaner Ghana. This appeal follows their donation of essential cleaning equipment to the Bus Stop Boys, a group celebrated for their voluntary cleaning efforts and public education campaigns on the importance of sanitation.
Amid rising public health concerns, including recent cholera cases, sanitation improvement remains a critical priority. The Bus Stop Boys have consistently championed clean environments, and their efforts have now received a major boost from the Sassy Ladies. Sarah Sakodie Enim, an executive member of Sassy Ladies, reiterated the group's commitment to supporting initiatives that combat filth and prevent diseases.
We've been seeing what Bus Stop Boys have been doing, from the executive to all the members. So our president took it on her heart to do something for the Bus Stop Boys. We want to put smiles on the faces of the needy. We want to help those who are also helping the country. We want to do things for them to know that it's not only ladies coming together to have fun, but also to help the society.
Viviana J., another executive member based in the UK, encouraged other individuals and organizations abroad to follow their example and contribute to Ghana's cleanliness drive.
Nothing is too small. You know, if you are not part of any organizations like what we are doing, you can tap into us. You can tap in, you can go on social media and join other groups in order to do this community work. You can also contact the Bus Stop Boys, you know, or whoever you want to sow a seed into. Nothing is too small. Whatever you send will be used wisely to help the nation of Ghana.
Expressing appreciation, Hiniba Kojo Safo, the founder of Bus Stop Boys, pledged to use the donated items effectively to advance their cause.
We started with nothing. We started by, after cleaning, we have to wait for Aboboya in passing and then give the trash out and pay for it. But people like Sassy Lady continues to contribute to the collective good. And I say we are so grateful, because in the end, we are buying nose masks, we are buying gloves, we are buying everything they have donated to us today. We buy them when they get finished or they get worn out. So we say it makes me feel so I don't even know what to say, because it makes me feel so happy, because in the end, even as we go in and out of our daily cleanup exercises, this is more or less like our bus that we transport ourselves with.
The donation includes a tricycle, Wellington boots, reflective gear, hand gloves, nose masks, shovels, rakes, and cash for fuel, among other vital tools.
The Member of Parliament for Okaikwe North Constituency, Theresa Ladiawini, has urged students of GH schools to utilize their acquired skills in contributing to the growth of the nation. In her keynote address at the school's 2025 graduation ceremony in Accra on Saturday, the seasoned lawmaker charged the 260 graduates to remain focused and resilient in their professional journey.
Today we celebrate not just an academic milestone, but a testament to the resilience, hard work, and determination of each graduate present here. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter. Whether you studied media, fashion, technology, or catering, remember that the journey ahead will require perseverance. Use your talents not only to build successful careers, but also to give back to your communities and contribute to the growth of the nation. You have demonstrated focus by staying committed to studies and mastering your craft. Let this focus remain your guide as you step into the professional world. It is my hope that the knowledge and skills you've gained here will lead you to lives fulfilled and fulfillment. Go out there and make Ghana proud.
We'll take a breather here, and News Tonight returns shortly. Welcome back. Now, mental health awareness continues to grow as various organizations step up to support those in need. One such initiative was undertaken by the Sewa Mihia Foundation, which brought warmth and hope to patients at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Officials of the foundation fumigated the female ward, cooked lunch for them and the patients, and donated varied items to the hospital as part of an extension of its Red Roses Christmas charity initiative. There's more in this report.
The Accra Psychiatric Hospital is a major health facility that focuses on providing mental health care services to people from across the country. Despite some strides made through great services rendered by officials at the facility, it is faced with a myriad of challenges, including funding and non-availability of resources. It was therefore a day filled with smiles and heartfelt gratitude as the Sewa Mihia Foundation extended a helping hand to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. In collaboration with the Grandi Management Services, the foundation fumigated the female ward of the facility to protect patients from pests, insects, and to keep the environment safe for habitation. Co-founders of the organization, Sewa Mihia and Mami Jimfua, together with other officials of the foundation and catering staff of the hospital, cooked lunch for all the patients in the facility's kitchen. Lunch was served to the patients, with the foundation's officials spending time with the patients in the female ward and the male special ward. Essential items, including sanitary pads, toilet rolls, Sankofa natural spices, a TV set, and other electrical appliances and assorted food items were presented to the staff and patients of the hospital. Mami Jimfua, co-founder of the Sewa Mihia Foundation, shared the inspiration behind choosing the hospital for this donation.
The Sewa Mihia Foundation focuses on marginalized persons, and the psychiatric department or hospital is also part of the marginalized group that are part of the whole marginalized people. So we decided to come here and then come and help out in the little way that we can, because most of the mentally disabled people are often neglected. And so we came here and then we asked them for some of the things they needed, and then they asked the female ward needed a TV. So we provided them with TV. We also brought food items, and then we prepared the food for them ourselves. And then we are just here to celebrate with them and make them feel loved.
Deputy Director of Administration of the hospital, Victor Spese, praised the foundation for addressing an often overlooked aspect of healthcare.
By a big surprise, we've heard about foundations, organizations, and baby companies, but how well known the foundation and vis-a-vis what they've come to present to us is a big surprise. Not just that they remember the patients per se, they decided to come and cook in situ, like within the facility where our kitchen staff supervised all that they were doing and making sure that they were well fed. Again, our staff who labor so much to be with the patients also had the opportunity of receiving some items donated by them.
Now it's time for business.
The facility.
Now, Ghana's public debt has declined to 736.9 billion cedis, which is $47.9 billion, equivalent to 72.2% of gross domestic product, that's the GDP, as of November 2024, according to the latest summary of financial and economic data from the Bank of Ghana. The country's total debt was estimated at $47.9 billion as of November 2024, compared to $51.6 billion during the same period in 2023. This represents a significant improvement in Ghana's debt profile. The report revealed that the total debt is equivalent to 72.2% of GDP. Additionally, the data showed that external debt stood at $27.6 billion in November 2024, a decrease from $30 billion recorded during the same period in 2023. In the preceding months, external debt was reported as $32.0 billion in both September 2024 and October 2024, highlighting a steady decline by November 2024. All right, let's now engage Professor Patrick Asumin, who is a senior lecturer at the Department of Finance of the University of Ghana Business School via Zoom. Thanks for joining us, Professor. Now, with external debt still significant at $27.6 that is $27.6 billion, what strategies should Ghana adapt to further reduce its external liabilities without stalling economic growth?
Good evening, and good evening to viewers. Thanks for having me. So I think much of the decline we've seen from our external debt comes from the external debt, as your introduction rightly points out. And I think at the moment, a big chunk of what has happened is the external debt restructuring that has improved the debt situation. I think part of the debt restructuring is yet to be finalized, especially the bilateral and then also the commercial, the restructuring of the commercial creditor. So we expect that when all of those are completed, we will even see some additional decline. I think the other thing that we should highlight is that outside of that decline, I think the currency strengthening has also helped. It means that when we look at the CD equivalent of the debt, it has come down. So all of those are important. I think the main thing is to reduce the rate of accumulation of the debt. And that starts with ensuring that we are raising more revenue domestically, because that's really where the debt builds up.
Professor
if we spend more than we are collecting in taxes, then...
Professor Asumin, having said that, do you also anticipate that... I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me from your end. Well, I was asking that, do you anticipate
yes, I can
that...
hear you.
Okay, so Professor Asumin, do you anticipate that Ghana's improved debt profile will have an effect on its credit rating?
Well, not immediately. I think what we are seeing is quite marginal. I think the credit rating will improve when we begin to see stronger growth, and then also when we complete all the restructuring, and then as well as seeing a more substantial reduction in the debt than we currently have. I think that's when we begin to see more improvement.
Thank you very much for your time, Professor Asumin. He is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana's Business School. Thank you for making time to talk to us. Now, the Project Management Institute Ghana chapter has extended an invitation to the government to foster a collaborative partnership aimed at enhancing national development through effective project management practices. The Institute underscored the critical role of professional project management in achieving key developmental milestones. There's more in this report.
During the swearing-in ceremony of its 8-member board, PMI Ghana called on the government to prioritize structured project management frameworks. The president of the institute, Frank Owusu Asamoah, emphasized that efficient project management is indispensable for ensuring that government projects are delivered on time, within budget, and with the desired quality.
We are ready to partner with government in order to positively impact the national economy. There are projects that are ongoing nationally, and we know that this new government, as well as the XY government, have all been talking about how to have efficiency in the management of our public projects. And we stand ready to partner with government in order to infuse some efficiency by way of the training and the expertise that our members have.
In her remarks, the immediate past president of PMI Ghana, Jomo Kelafenwa, underscores the urgent need for training and capacity building in project management.
A professional body is to help equip project management practitioners to be able to execute and increase the probability of the success rate of their project, thereby cutting down cost overrun, time overrun, and ensuring or increasing the probability of the project success. And this is the value organizations are looking out for. And so we are encouraging government to buy into this, get their members to become members of the professional body, partner with us so that we can train their employees and staff so that they can cut down on what they spend currently on projects and ensure that they achieve success at the end of the day.
The institution expressed optimism that this proposed partnership could mark a turning point in addressing inefficiencies and ensuring accountability in project delivery.
And it's now time for sports. All right, Ghanaian high jumper Rose Amwenima Yeboah grabbed the headlines as she was adjudged the Sports Personality of the Year at the 49th Sports Writers Association of Ghana, that's the SWAG Awards. The award scheme, which is the longest running event in the country, was held to award sportsmen and women who contributed immensely and brought honor to the country in the year 2024. The 23-year-old claimed top prizes at the events as she won the Female Athlete of the Year and Sports Personality of the Year titles. The event was headlined by Ghana Vice President Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman and had Bright Kankam-Boadu named as Sports Journalist of the Year, with James Kwesi Appiah winning the SWAG President Award after leading Sudan to qualify to the 2025 AFCON. 23-year-old Yeboah beat strong competition from the arm wrestler Grace Minta, who, like Yeboah, starred at the 2023 African Games held in Ghana. Now, after winning gold in the women's high jump event at the 2019 African Games, Yeboah successfully defended her title by finishing in first place at the 2023 edition held in Accra. On the same night, Barcelona's Abdul Aziz Issa took home the Prospect of the Year and Male Footballer of the Year awards. Now, still with the Sports Writers Association of Ghana Awards, the sports team picked reactions of some winners on the night.
I feel so delighted, I feel so happy of myself because it's been a long journey and a dream come true for me. I'm so happy of myself. The advice I'll give to female footballers, they should keep working hard on themselves, they should keep working on themselves, listen to their managers, their family, everybody, and everything's going to be okay.
The last year was a year of its kind. Non-agreeable, it was the best year for Ghana athletics. And Gadayi winning the Athlete of the Year speak volumes. It doesn't really show whether you are in Ghana or you are in the US. It's based on the performance, and for me, Gadayi has really performed to achieve this award.
Ones that I am so happy about were the meritorious awards and the ones that were recognized, our long-serving journalists. You talk about somebody like Abate, and growing up, we all heard of Abate. So it wasn't out of place that the president honored him.
Congratulations to us all, because we all contribute to making Ghana sports good. And I'm really excited about this award. And for me, I think that this means that I need to raise the bar higher. It means that the work I'm doing is recognized by the industry players. These are sports writers like myself, my peers, deciding that I've done enough to merit this award. So I mean, it means so much. The challenge is going to be bigger than it was before. Probably at first I was doing what I felt I had to do. Now I have to do something not just for myself, for God, for country, and to make SWAC feel that I won the award and I'm living up to that.
It's going to inspire me very well because it's going to boost my morale. And this is my first national award I'm having here, so there's more to come. We just pray for long life and hope, and we still have the strong and the power there. And I promise Ghana that I'm going to do more because I'm a goal machine. So surely I'm going to win another Go King award to Ghana.
SWAC proudly honors Kofi Asare-Braku, aka Abate, with the prestigious SWAC President's Award.
Let's now look at what is happening elsewhere. In a major development, 200 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails have been released as part of a Gaza ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. Among them, 70 will be deported to neighboring countries. The release followed the return of 4 Israeli female soldiers by Palestinian fighters. The soldiers appeared in good health, each carrying a bag and smiling as they waved to cheering crowds gathered in Gaza City's Palestine Square. Meanwhile, Israel has announced that Palestinians would not be allowed to return to northern Gaza until issues surrounding the release of captive Abel Yahud are resolved. Israel's ongoing war in Gaza has resulted in over 47,000 Palestinian deaths and more than 111,000 injuries since October 7, 2023. On the same day, Hamas-led attacks in Israel claimed 1,139 lives, with more than 200 people taken captive. And that's it for the news tonight with me, Araba Aidoo. For more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. Have a great weekend.